A man in Japan fell into a hole with a bear inside. Marathon runners are discovering that they can churn butter while running. And a kickboxer becomes the first person to pull a car using just his testicles. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast. Got some kinky stories right here. I think they're bizarre. What do you think? Let's find out. A man in Japan fell into a hole with a bear inside. That sounds like a haiku, that title, doesn't it? All right, I just asked an AI program to write me some funny haikus about this story. Here's the first one. Cobblestones and shrines. Mount Fuji peeks through the clouds. Where did the ground go? Darkness hits quite fast. The boulder feels very warm, and it just growled back. Bear was having tea. I dropped in without a gift. Social death is real. All right, those were like average. I thought they would be better. What do you want? It's AI. I'm just trying to embellish the Weird AF News podcast, because this isn't your ordinary news. We got haikus, we got songs, terrible accents from what I've been told. Let's get back to the story here about this poor Japanese man. 69-year-old Japanese man. He was on Iwakamiyama. Yummy. Mountain. It's a mountain. Yummy mountain. It's in It's in Iwatsuki prefecture. I think that's a neighborhood. It's got some bears there. There's bears all over Japan. I've covered so many stories. The bears in Japan. What is going on? It's out of control. They had to give the citizens bear mace and call in the National Guard. It's awful. And we got this poor Japanese man. There was a layer of snow on the ground. The man and his female companion unintentionally wandered off of the hiking trail and were trying to find their way back. Being off course on a winter hike can be very dangerous as it becomes difficult to see whether or not there's secure footing where you might be walking. Sure enough, the man ended up stepping into a hole that was hidden by the snow. I'm sure when he fell into the hole, he said to himself, well, this day can't get any worse. Well, it can, because inside the hole was a bear, a hibernating bear. I mean, it was hibernating until it suddenly had an uninvited guest in what was supposed to be its single occupancy sleeping space, the hole. Startled and panicking, the bear bit the man in the leg. And even after he pulled himself back up out of the hole, the bear chased him out into the snow. You thought you had a bad day. You ever think you had a bad day? And then just think about this old Japanese man falling into a hole. There's a bear inside. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to feel great about myself the rest of this day. Great about not falling into a hibernating bear chamber. Says here the bear also noticed his female companion and tried to attack her as well, but the man poked at the bear with the hiking poles he was carrying, and the bear fled out into the forest. Now, I know we're all going to just, raise our violins for this old couple walking through the woods that got seemingly attacked by a bear, but, let's think about the bear for a second. This is a very shocking moment in the bear's life. Bear's just trying to hibernate, stay out of everybody's way for the winter. Just a few months of just rest and relaxation. Then all of a sudden an old man with hiking poles falls on its face in the hole. Like imagine you're sleeping and someone falls through your ceiling and lands on top of you and they have two hiking poles. That's really going to put a damper on your day, at least the start of it anyways, I would think. I'm just saying, shout out to the bear, wherever the bear might be. The article says there's been a spike in the number of bear attacks on people and property in Japan over the last year. Yeah, you guys are familiar with that because I've covered a couple stories about the fallout of these bear attacks. Now, these two hikers were quite lucky to get off basically unscathed. They were able to find their way back to the designated hiking course and return to town under their own power, and medical examiners determined that the man's injury is very minor and it should heal. It says the bear's level of sleepiness remains unknown. Yeah, no, the bear's drowsy, I'm going to tell you right now. Bear's drowsy. Bear's got to go find another cave or a hole. The difficulty in finding a hibernation spot right now, there's no vacancies. They're deep in hibernation season. Maybe the bear can find some furry friend to shack up with. It says, though the hikers were off course unintentionally, this incident serves to highlight another reason why it's important to stick to the trail, guys. Yeah, you should stick to the trail. Well, it's hard when there's snow on the ground. You shouldn't even really be hiking when there's snow on the ground. Let's be honest. What are you doing on a mountain? There's snow. Stay inside. Drink tea. Play dominoes. Do winter things. What are you out there walking around? A 69-year-old man just hiking on a snowy mountain? I mean, you're asking for trouble, sir. It says sticking to the trail helps maintain a buffer between humans and wildlife that's important for mutual safety. Thankfully, there's been no calls to cull the bear. That means kill the bear, seeing as how the encounter came about as a result of the hikers being in a part of the mountain they should not have been in. Yeah, I mean, they need to count their blessings right here because they got off easy compared to what could have happened, for real. You fall into a hole, there's a bear in there. I mean, that might be the worst thing to find at the bottom of a hole. I mean, I'm sure there's worse things like lava. Lava's pretty bad. I don't think you're walking away if you fall into a hole with lava. What else is pretty bad? Poison oak, that's awful. I would hate to fall into a hole where there's poison oak. Oh, another thing, awful, if I fell into a hole and there was a Gen Z girl in there just saying literally, we're in the hole, literally. You literally fell literally into my hole, literally. I'd be, oh, get me out of here. Was the rope. One last one. This would be awful to find. You fell into a hole, and down there was Kid Rock and RFK Jr. spelunking shirtless. Marathon runners are discovering they can churn butter while running, and it's pretty easy. The article asks, when was the last time you made butter and ran a marathon simultaneously? Well, that's an odd question. I must say never. Never even thought of that sort of multitasking. I didn't know it was possible. The real question we need to ask is, are marathon runners ever going to get away from the label of being mentally insane? It's just again and again. You ever met an ultra marathoner? They're just out of their minds. Now, in this story, we got a marathon runner. She's a running content creator. I guess we call that a running influencer. Her name is Libby. She's in Oregon. She has a video that has over 2 million views on TikTok and 10 million on Instagram about churning butter while running. That's unbelievable. I mean, I got over 2,000 episodes of this podcast. Copious amounts of jokes have been written over the years, and I don't even have 10 million downloads of the podcast total. Unbelievable. One video she puts out, churning butter while running. It's just, life just isn't fair, man, is I guess what I'm saying. Now, let me get into what Libby and her boyfriend like to do. It's typical couples activities. They pour heavy cream and salt into double-bagged Ziplocs and secure the squishy bags of dairy inside their matching running vests before setting off on a long trail run. At the end, they spread their creation on a sandwich bread and they dig in. They're calling it runner's butter, which sounds like a serious disease if we're being honest. Oh, man. I hooked up with a girl last night. She had runner's butter. Awful. Did you catch it? I don't know. I got to get tested for runner's butter. Never thought I'd get it. I never run. I never do. Okay, back to the story. I'm not sure if Libby invented this runner's butter, but Libby noticed a month ago she had a bottle of cream top milk for her coffee, and she noticed how easily the thick liquid foamed up when shaken. She wondered if she could take it on a run. Would it eventually turn into butter from all the shaking? The article breaks down how much she put in a bag, how much this, etc. It's got details that we just don't need. I mean, the point of it is her and her boyfriend went running, and lo and behold, they got butter after running. Butter in a bag that was shoved down their vest, which, I mean, to many of us is pretty weird because, we just go to the store and buy it, I mean, call me new school, but I'll just go to the store and buy some butter. I'd rather do that than, ruin a $200 pair of running shoes because I got heavy cream running down my ass crack. Now it says here, Libby's mastered it because she now has a higher quality cream that she uses, and she takes a very strenuous running trail. So she's having more successful butter runs, it says. Butter runs. Butter runs. Sounds like the side effect of eating too much movie theater popcorn. I got the butter runs, bro. Oh, I was in the bathroom for an hour. I missed half the movie because I had the butter runs. So. All right, I'm being silly. Now, happy ending because now it says the couple has more butter than they know what to do with. Oh, so much butter. It says they've consumed an alarming amount of dairy. You guys got to be careful with all this butter, man. That's not good for you. Now, this Libby, her videos have inspired other runners to try churn running. Churn running, that's another name for it. Got this lady here named Irene who made corn juice honey butter, and someone named Lauren who tried making her butter during a snowstorm but had to follow up her run with some at-home churning because of the cold temperatures. Is it me, or is this like, ultimate white people activity here? And I'm a little embarrassed about it, to be honest. Like this, we have real problems out there. Nobody got problems. I mean, I'll tell you right now what it cost to fill my gas tank yesterday. It made my head spin, and I immediately thought to myself, "Wow, not going to be able to do this 2 more times this month." So maybe time to look into cutting down on the driving. Like, I mean, who's got time to run around with heavy cream in your tits? I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I chose the story, so I'm partly to blame. I just thought the title was funny and weird. Runners churning butter. Technically you could do this in other ways too. I mean, you could probably strap some bags of heavy cream to your hips and do some breakdancing. Why stop at butter, by the way? With these marathon runners, just shove a hot pot between your hot thighs and make some runners chili. I'd be into that. Well, what did we learn, guys? I guess we learned that runners will do anything to pretend that running is actually fun and exciting, when the fact is it is the most ultra boring workout you could possibly come up with. I can't stand running. Oh, I want a sharp stick in my eye over having to run miles and miles.
America leads the world in medicine development. It matters. We get new medicines first, nearly 3 years faster. 5 million Americans go to work because we make medicines here at home. And not relying on other countries keeps us safe. But China is racing to overtake us. Will we let them, or will we choose to stay ahead? When America leads, America cures. Let's tell Washington to keep us in the lead.
Learn how at americacures.com. Paid for by pharma.
Welcome back.
A kickboxer becomes the first person in the UK to pull a car using only his testicles. Oh, you pulled a car with your testicles? That's so rad, dude. But why? Like, why? Why would you do that? We got a 50-year-old kickboxer who has 50-year-old balls. He proved he had balls of steel, even though they're 50, balls of steel. He became the first person in the UK to pull a car using only his scrotum. Was this a normal-sized car? I need to know. It wasn't one of those little tiny smart cars. I mean, come on. I could probably pull a little Fiat with my sack if I gave it a try. I don't know. Probably not, but... Now, the car he towed weighed 2 tons, so it seems legit. It was a 2-ton Seat Leon. I don't know what that is. It must be a UK car brand. He pulled this car 50 meters using just his raw manpower and his very supple, leathery gonads. It doesn't say that. I thought I'd add some poetry. It says, and to add to the show, this guy, John Stevenson, munched on a bag of nuts while completing the challenge. This guy's very funny. He joked afterwards, quote, "Well, when I was finished, my plums were bright purple, but I'm still firing on all cylinders, baby." Wow, this guy's a character. Funny guy. What's the aftermath of this, though? Can John Stevenson now just swing his scrotum over his shoulder while he says, "I'm taking my balls and going home"? Can he do that? Because that's an amazing way to exit. You've heard of a mic drop moment? Well, this guy could have a sack drop moment whenever he wanted to. I mean, you got to hand it to this guy. He's got balls. Of course, he's got balls. But I mean, what I'm saying is, who's ever looked at their own testicles and thought, these are great, these are strong, these are tough. I'll bet I could pull a car with them. You know who is like really amazing with their testicles is Shaolin monks. I know I'm going to go off on a weird sidebar here, but yeah, I've watched a bunch of videos of Shaolin monks before doing what's called iron crotch kung fu. I don't go looking for this stuff. I don't know. Somehow I find it, and it's so bizarre. Iron crotch kung fu masters are out there, and there's videos of them just being kicked in the crotch, punched in the crotch, doing all kinds of things, lighting their crotch on fire. There's techniques to make your crotch stronger. The Shaolin monks do these things. They try and get what's called iron testicles. It's called iron testicles. And there's videos of them swinging bricks between their legs to get these iron testicles in shape. It's really quite bizarre and nuts, really, nuts. But, I mean, you can't look away when you see a guy swinging bricks from his balls. You really can't. Now, back to the article. It says John's world record-breaking task also carried a more serious message. He wanted to use his private parts to make a public statement, hoping any exposure from this challenge can help raise awareness of men's mental health issues. Well, that's nice, raising awareness of mental health. Has anyone raised awareness to John's mental health issues? Because the guy just towed a 2-ton vehicle with nothing but his balls. I mean, he might be missing a few screws is what I'm saying. A couple beers short of a six-pack. You know the phrases. No, I jest, but like good for John for bringing awareness to mental health because, that's a very important, and this very well could do it. John has previously used his arms to pull a number of high-profile vehicles, such as the A-Team van. Wow. John likes to pull things. I mean, the arms weren't enough, though. He's like, yeah, I can pull anything with my arms, but what about my balls? That one's up in the air. Let's find out. John said, quote, I want to use this to encourage people to look after themselves. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and ask for help if you think you need it. A lot of men don't, and they feel like they've got an ego to maintain. They don't talk and let their problems get the better of them. I always say that men who talk are men who heal. Wow, I like this John guy. He's great. He really gets right to the point. I'm going to raise awareness of mental health. Watch me do this with my nuts. And if I can do this, you can take care of yourself. Do your balls hang low? Can you tie them in a bow? All right, the article breaks down how John did the car tow with his testicles. He took a tow rope attached to a silk scarf, and he tied that around his testicles before he began the pull. He was cheered on by family, friends, and local residents. Despite a scary moment for onlookers when John jolted after a slip knot in the tow rope fell out early on, he completed the task totally intact. Now, it doesn't say how John trained for this activity. John is quoted as saying, "When I first strapped up, I thought, am I going to do the right thing here? Can I actually do this?" But then I just started pulling. I did 50 meters, but I think I could have done further. I just ran out of road, really. I'm the first and only man in the UK to ever achieve it, but if you never try things, how do you ever know if you can do it or not? Yeah, I mean, I love this dude's gusto. If you never try things, he's right. There's some things out there, though, that I'm not trying. I'm not tugging vehicles with my private parts, that's for sure. The article says, using your genitals to pull a vehicle isn't a new concept. Chinese Qigong master Tu Jin Shang has earned himself the nickname Iron Crotch for his displays of penile power. And Kung Fu master Yi Hong Wei went to even greater lengths to pull a 5-ton military helicopter with his genitals. Yeah, Kung Fu masters, that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't say they're Shaolin monks, but I will bet you that they are. Now, the article ends with one more quote from our guy John, who says, "Was it worth it? Well, it's totally worth it. I'll never be able to wear shorts again, but this is the UK. You can't really wear shorts outside anyway."
My day kicks off with a refreshing Celsius energy drink, then straight to the gym. Pre-K pickup, back home to meal prep. Time for my fire station shift. One more Celsius, gotta keep the lights on. When the 3-alarm hits, I'm ready. Celsius. Live, fit, go. Grab a cold, refreshing Celsius at your local retailer or locate now at Celsius.com.
Hi, guys. Thanks for spending some time with me in this episode of Weird AF News. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's give some thanks and praise to some people who are very generous out there in the world. Amber Green is one of those people. She bought me 5 coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com. She wrote this lovely note as well. She wrote, "I happened to find your podcast by accident, Jonesy. I'm so glad I did. Florida Friday is something my whole family can listen to and laugh together. It's so good. Keep up the amazing work and keep it weird." Well, I mean, isn't that lovely from Amber Green? So shout out to Amber Green and the Green family. They're out there listening. So I appreciate the support, and that was just such a lovely little message too. It really made my heart tingle. And if hearts can tingle, mine, you know what I mean, Amber. Another individual bought me coffee, and it's username msashley72. M Sashley wrote, "Coffee for Jonesy. Thanks for risking your sanity reading the internet so we don't have to." I thought that was such a hilarious, it's such a short little message, but it's so funny. It just gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it, Sashley? I mean, it's true. I'm reading the internet so you don't have to. I never thought that could be my catchphrase for the podcast, right? In addition to "good luck with your life, man." Jonesy, reading the weird internet so you don't have to. That was so awesome. Thank you, msashley72. Please stay in touch. Dr. Trey bought me another coffee and wrote, "Jonesy, bro, here's another coffee to make up for my buddy choking out your flamingos down there, guy. Dr. Trey, founder of Meth Road Records. Autocorrect ruins lives, Jonesy. Follow my snap for weird AF Renos." Now, I got a lot of questions with Dr. Trey here. I don't have. I assume you mean on Snapchat. Follow Dr. Trey on Snapchat for weird AF Renos. Does that mean weird videos out of Reno? Reno is a weird city. That place is. I mean, I've only been there once, but man, it was memorable for being a place I probably don't want to go to ever again. Just Reno's. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Dr. Trey. If you're on Snap, I don't know, follow him for weird AF Renos. Now, another person, last but not least, someone who's an OG fan of the show. You all know her. You love her. Hannah from Chicago. She bought me 2 coffees, and she wrote, "Hi, Jonesy. This is Hannah." You got to imagine it in her Chicago accent. "Hi, Jonesy. This is Hannah. This is Hannah. I hope this coffee purchase..." Oh, I can't even do a Chicago accent. Coffee. I hope this coffee purchase goes through. Good luck with your life, man. That's kind of what she sounds like. Good luck with your life, man. Hannah, you got the sweetest little Chicago voice. I just love it. When I hear from you, it's always a treat. So thank you for the coffees, by the way. I so appreciate that. I also wanted to show some love to Allison Murray, who sent me a Facebook message a long time ago, and I never saw it because it was in an inbox that I never see. And her whole family is fans of the show, so we want to give a shout out to the Murrays. Allison wrote, "Wanted to share this with you, Jonesy, but not sure how to do it. Anyway, always look forward to hearing your podcast. My husband and I, as well as my 9-year-old daughter, just love your podcast. Thanks for giving us something to do as a family. Happy holidays. Some of your biggest fans, Allie, John, and Ellie. Ella? Is it L? Ella. E-L-L-E. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm going to say it's Ella or L. Anyways. Then she put a screenshot of her Spotify end of year Wrapped. Remember that? Spotify Wrapped. Anyways, guess what podcast is at number 1 under the top podcasts for Allison Murray? It's Weird AF News. So anyways, I'm so sorry I didn't see this, and I feel bad. So I want to give the Murray family their due shout out on here and let them know how much I appreciate them. All right, I'm now over 20 minutes, so I got to stop this. If you want to buy me coffees, go to weirdafnews.com. You can also join the Patreon there, and I put a lot of extra content in the Patreon. It's a pretty cool spot, so check that out. And if you want to hit me up, my email, funnyjones@gmail.com. Okay, good luck with your life, man.